Hey, what is up guys? It is Harrison Marin, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now in this video, I want to cover, do you actually need insurance for your business? Now, right off the bat, I am a small business owner. I am not an insurance expert and I am not a lawyer. So first thing I would do is no matter what, contact your lawyer. They are going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Now, knowing a lot of lawyers, more than likely, they're going to tell you to err on the side of caution. Knowing my insurance friends, they're also going to tell you to err on the side of caution. However, if you're starting out a business, I get it. You might not have that much money to start, and ultimately, what do you want to do? What is the best route for you to go? And ultimately, how do you operate without insurance if you were to operate without insurance? So ultimately, at the end of the day, the risk is on you if you don't have insurance. You need that LLC, which I talked about in my last video, and you ultimately need insurance because this is how you protect yourself. Because if you don't have insurance and an LLC, people are going to be coming after you if something bad goes wrong, right? That's typically what happens. So if you're thinking about having a business, you have to think about it in two ways. One, are you okay with having that exposure? If you're not, you're going to want insurance right off the bat. Two is, if something does go wrong, right, what's the worst case scenario that happens? Now, if you're selling, in this case, a consumable product, chances are pretty good you're going to want coverage, because God forbid something goes wrong. If you're selling coffee or selling food, selling something that could cause bodily harm, even though you didn't mean it, you're going to want insurance, because this means somebody could potentially come after you, and this is going to cause a ton of problems down the road. Now, if you're not selling that, so for example, when I first started my business, yeah, we did operate without insurance. I was running everything through me. I did have an LLC and stuff like that, S Corp specifically, and ultimately, I knew that if something did go wrong, one, I could fix it, and two, nobody was going to get hurt, right? But that was me. I was selling websites, I was building websites, and I was running social media. For the most part, nothing bad was really going to happen, and even if it did, it might have impacted the company's image a little bit, but I'd probably pull it down in a relatively quick manner. But for example, if you're selling a consumable product where you sell, I don't know, let's just say vegetables, fruits, whatever it may be, and somebody eats that thing or consumes that thing or uses that thing, and they get seriously injured or potentially die, get ready for the lawsuits to start. This is why I would absolutely, without a doubt, get insurance if you're selling a consumable product, something that can cause immediate harm. Now, if you are selling an educational course or something like that, and you want to wait a little while to get insurance to see if it's really worth it, yeah, I would say that's probably not a bad idea. Once again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an insurance expert. Consult your local experts without a shadow of a doubt. That is the number one thing you want to do. But if that's something that you're going to do, yeah, nobody's going to get hurt, right? Nobody's going to get hurt taking your online course on how to sell online or how to run a daycare, whatever it is, right? But you do want to take into consideration, if somebody sees you succeeding, right, chances are pretty good somebody's going to get ready to file a lawsuit. Sadly, that's just how people are. If you're thriving and people know that you're doing good and know you have money, somebody's going to file a lawsuit at some point or another. Or you're just going to get somebody who's really cranky, really upset, and just wants to sue somebody over it. It sounds ridiculous, but I literally see it all the time in the business world. It's so sad, but somebody sees somebody either succeeding or sees that they have money or whatever it may be, buys their services just to file a lawsuit because something didn't happen or they were looking for a loophole in this. The other thing that you really want to be careful about too is, for my world where we build websites and do SEO, there is something called ADA compliant. Now, a vast majority, if not all of our websites are not ADA compliant. And that's not because we don't make them ADA compliant. We actually do our absolute best to make sure that if somebody from the ADA, which is the American Disability Association, looks at it, we could say, hey, we took the appropriate and necessary steps to try to make it as ADA compliant as possible. Now, there's a lot of gaps, a lot of loopholes, because the ADA doesn't necessarily say, hey, you need to have this, and you need to have this, and you need to have this. It's more of like a best effort type thing where, hey, is the text readable? Is there alt tags and descriptions on the image? Yes, we do that. But for the vast majority of other people, you might not know what you don't know, right? That's just typically how it is in business. This is why you need to consult your legal experts and your insurance experts. Having those people in place to say, hey, we've done this a lot in the past, and this is what you need. This is what you need to make sure that you're okay, and ultimately you're not going to get in trouble or you're not going to get screwed, is really, I can't even begin to explain. It is so valuable, because knowing that you can go to bed at night, knowing that God forbid something happens, you're going to be okay. So it really depends on what it is. If it's a consumable product, if it's something that somebody can use, right, then yeah, you got to be really careful. Another great example, I've been watching a lot of like airplane and airline content. So there are two types of planes. There is FAA approved planes, and then there's also experimental planes. The insurance for both is very different, right? And an experimental plane is really not a real passenger plane, right? But an FAA plane is a certified passenger plane. So it really comes down to what are you doing, what are you producing, and ultimately can somebody get hurt? I fly a drone, for example. I really don't fly over people because God forbid something happens, I don't want to be held liable. Now, yes, can a drone fall out of the sky and will it cause damage to somebody's roof? More than likely, but the chances of me having a small bill to pay if that happens is pretty slim. I also don't fly a FPV drone or something like that. It's pretty much almost fully autonomous at this point. And if something does happen to me while I'm flying, the drone will come back and return safely. Thank you, DJI, for making my life a million times easier. So you have to think about what is the exposure, the liability that you're willing to take on. If it's a lot, then yeah, you could probably operate a business without insurance. Do I recommend it? No, not even a little bit. So if you're thinking about, do I recommend doing it? No, but I get it. If you're a small, sweaty startup like I was not that long ago, you might have to operate without insurance. It might cost more money than your business is bringing in for several months. It really depends on what you're doing. You also have to remember too, depending on the business that you're going to have, you pay a different rate for insurance. For example, if you're in construction, you might pay, 25 cents on the dollar for insurance per person. So that means every dollar a person makes, you're paying at 25 cents or 25% of that to insurance. Now, if you're a crane operator, and if I remember my numbers correctly, you're paying $1.25 for every dollar somebody earns. So, for example, if somebody earns $100,000 a year, you're paying $125,000 for insurance on that one person. That is just the liability, and that's what the insurance companies say, hey, that's how much it's going to cost. God forbid something goes wrong, we have to make sure that we have money to pay out of pocket. So these are how things work. But if you have a digital marketing agency or you work remotely, right, I might be paying 5 cents or 3 cents or 12 cents on the dollar. So if somebody earns $100,000 a year, I'm only paying $12,000 or $13,000 a year for insurance. Now, this is all, this all depends on where you live, your state and local laws, the amount of insurance claims that have been produced in that area. There are so many factors that go into this. I actually do plan on having an expert come on, my buddy Jonathan. If you guys want, I will leave a link down to his company down below. His name is Jonathan Carroll, phenomenal guy. Insurance expert in New York and staffing agencies, right? But there are so many things that you don't know what you don't know. And even still, every time I talk to him, I'm learning something new. There's always a way around something if you are, in construction, right? There's OSHA, there's safety rules and regulations that you have to follow. I mean, the list goes on and on. So do your best to keep learning what you could be, liable for. Do your best to keep learning on what your exposures are going to be. And ultimately, it's risk versus reward, right? Operating a business without insurance, your risk is high, but your reward is high. But if you're operating a business with insurance, right, your risk is then very low, and your liability and your profits could also be in the moderate range, right? It really depends on your industry, because if you're saving all that money, if you're running an off the books operation with a construction company and you're not paying insurance, yeah, you're making a lot of extra money, but also, God forbid something happens to your workers, is it ethical to just be like, see you later, you're on your own, you got hurt on the job and you were never here because I pay you in cash? That's for you to figure out. I can't make those decisions for you. You have to know that. Now, for myself, I am very much so err on the side of caution. I have insurance on my car. I have insurance on my phone. I have a warranty. I have an extended warranty on my car. I mean, if there's insurance on it, I think I even have insurance on my TV. God forbid something happens to it. It's a couple extra dollars to have peace of mind that God forbid something happens, I know that I don't have to worry about it. And that's really the way that I really like to live. That might not be for everybody, and people might be skating by, but without fail, if I go out and buy something expensive and I don't have insurance on it, it's going to break. That's just my luck. So I always buy insurance on it. And if I do buy insurance on it, it never breaks until either there's insurance is up or just doesn't break because I bought the insurance in the beginning. So whatever your business is, I can't make these decisions for you. You have to figure out how much risk you're willing to take versus how much money you're willing to make off of that risk, right? I always err on the side of caution. I highly encourage you to err on the side of caution. If you need help or you need somebody to reach out to you, one of my trusted advisors, to reach out to you saying, hey, you know what, this is something that you should either consider, not consider, do, or not do, by all means, leave a comment down below. I'm happy to help. If you guys found value in this video, please give it a like. Please give it that thumbs up. You know, that's really important. And it's free, and you don't have to pay for insurance on that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you never miss another update. I'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, bye. By the way, I'm doing a little series. I'm also doing 120 and 120. So 120 videos in 120 days. I'm doing my absolute best for that. So I'm recording multiple videos over multiple days, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 videos in one day. That is why I will not be changing my stuff, because I'm going to sit here, turn the camera off, edit the video, turn my camera back on, and start another video. But this is really geared towards small business owners, helping them succeed. So if you guys found value in this, like I said, like, subscribe, notification bell. See you guys on the next one. Bye.